Hey, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. Kristen here. Good to see you. So, I wanted to just come in and encourage you today. I wanted to talk today about setbacks. I wanted to talk about eating setbacks and what to do when you are really trying to make changes. And, maybe you're even on a weight loss journey and you've been doing this for a while and then you have a setback. And what has kind of happened to us in the past, my apologies, there's some music outside, so hopefully it's not too loud. But I think what's happened in the past is that, we go on a diet and then, or an eating plan of some sort, and then we have something that trips us up, and that can be stress, it can be a difficult week, it can be emotional eating, it can be literally just like, I didn't plan very well this week, things got busy, driving the kids everywhere, and we just don't do what we had intended. And what I want to just explain to you is that whatever your story is, whatever is going on with you, um, if you're imperfect, then that's perfect. Like, you do not need to be perfect. And that is the one thing that hinders us in doing a journey that's long term and staying with a weight loss journey, because I've kind of charted it out before when I've talked about this, but our journey is like, if you had like a page of paper right here, it would look like a little bit of a zigzag up and down, right? But going upward. The long journey is what we're looking at, and it is progress over perfection. So if you're not perfect, that is amazing, actually, because what you need to do first is admit that you're not perfect, and don't go into a weight loss journey thinking that you need to be perfect. So, what I want to tell you is it's normal. And the more that we can realize it's normal, and kind of like accept that is the best place we can be. And it doesn't mean that we're using it as an excuse. Oh, I'm not perfect, so I'm just going to eat whatever today. It's not that, right? It's just saying that I recognize that not every day is going to be perfect. So then what I want to say is, what do I do with that? What is the next thing I do with that? When I don't make the choice I intended to, I overate, I ate the pizza, that wasn't my plan. What is it that you're going to do next? Are you going to allow a setback, or your emotional eating episode, or your stress eating, watching Netflix? Is that going to like take you off track for days and weeks again, back all the way into your old eating patterns? Or are you going to allow yourself to say, okay, this happened. Here's what I learned from it. Number one, I'm not perfect, so I'm normal. What did I learn from this situation? Do a little bit of self-reflection and ask yourself, what did I learn about myself, and what kind of happened? What was triggering me? What did I really need? And then, I've learned from that, and I have more tools in my tool belt for next time. And then I'm going to make the next right decision. I'm going to go move forward into my journey. Just take that next step, right? I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm not going to allow judgment to come in. So it's what you do next that's important. When you've gone off of your eating plan, you're eating sugar, you're maybe eating like a bunch of carbs, ice cream, whatever has happened. What I'd encourage you to do is just get back into the blood sugar mindset. Maybe you had dessert today, maybe you had a bunch of sugar. So what can you do as the next step? Well, you can look at, okay, what's good for my blood sugar? Protein. Protein is huge. So even if I eat my protein after I just had that dessert, I'm going to still slow down the insulin increase, the blood sugar increase, and I'm still going to feel better, right? So if we can start thinking about like bringing that blood sugar mentality back into the situation, rather than I need to get back on a diet. It's not that. It's, how do I need to eat to feel better, right? And then the other thing I want to just say is, don't stop, don't give up. Don't let that old mentality of dieting come in when you feel like you have messed up or you haven't measured up somehow. That is what our problem is that we just stop, we give up. And so don't give up. And what I want you to do is think of yourself in like 3 days. And these words are so true. And I know that we've heard them a lot, but this too shall pass. That is so true when we are having an eating struggle. and we're in the middle of maybe even an overeating episode of a day or so, or more, um, we're having a hard time. Something's going wrong. Something is happening at work. Something's happening in our family. And we're just there. That's where we are. We're overeating, we're emotional eating. I want you to think about yourself and tell yourself, you know what, this is going to pass. I know it will. Because what I want you to do is picture yourself in 3 days. Picture yourself what that's going to look like, because you are not going to be where you are today. It is going to have passed. Your stress will have decreased. Your mindset will be in a better space. You're not going to feel like you feel today. So tap into that person in 3 days from now and trust that this is going to pass. So maybe that can even help influence your decisions today when you know that this isn't going to last forever, right? And you can give yourself some grace and kindness. So, I mean, I just wanted to tell you that I experience these things too. And these are some of the very things I'm telling you today that I actually had to use about 3 days ago. Um, we had a death in our family. It was my aunt, and she had been sick a while. I have a small family. She's in town. I've helped kind of take care of her as well this last year. She's been very sick, and she took a turn. And I ended up getting over there Thursday. I was there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday most of the day. And I mean, things went out the window and I'm a health coach, and I was like, I just drove there. I hadn't planned meals. I hadn't planned for my blood sugar, right? I hadn't packed a protein bar or I was just there. And that's what happens to us in life, right? And you have other things going on for you too. Where you're having something at work, having something with your kids, you're going from one thing to another, or you have a tough relationship, or something's happening, or you have a death in the family too. And so I just want you to know that these are the things that I struggle with still too. And I pulled these things out of my tool belt. It was funny because, we were kind of like eating out, we were grabbing pizza, I was like, and then I felt awful one day, and I was like, gosh, this is my blood sugar. And I literally just focused on, where do I need to get protein? Where do I need to go home and eat something healthy, or bring that with me the next day? And, my time, I was struggling a lot, and I was struggling with food again too. And, the thing that I've learned is that I have learned the tools, and these are some of the things I'm telling you in these mindset calls that I'm doing on Wednesdays. I want to give you these real tools and tell you it's coming from a real person who has been where you are. And I still have to pull these tools out today, but the hope that I want you to experience, and that you will experience if you keep going on this and you don't give up, is that your time spent in the emotional eating episode, or back in the old eating pattern, that time frame is like way shorter for me, where it used to be like, okay, weeks. Now I'm off track, spiraling because I screwed up, and feeling all the shame and guilt. And now, with knowing how to like get my head around it better, knowing the tools I can pull out, knowing how to capture my thoughts before they get out of control, knowing that I'm going to be imperfect and I can be curious about myself, and I have these tools to learn and to be kind to myself instead of judging myself and beating myself up. Those are the things that help me get back on track and make that next right decision. But it's something I continue to work at too. And I just want you to know that I'm for you. And I hope that this helps. I hope that you have some tactics to use. Let me know if you have questions in the comments. Let me know if there's other things you'd like me to talk through in these Wednesday calls. But that's my goal, is just to encourage you and help you. So thanks for listening. My program is the Fat-Free Weight Loss Program. I help women with a roadmap and a strategy to lose weight for the last time, so they don't have to worry about gaining it back. And I'm doing $200 off for anyone who signs up during the month of September. So if you are interested in that, this gives you mindset tools. It gives you how to eat for sustainable weight loss using foods you like, and helping you with your hunger, helping you with your mindset around food. And I'd be happy to talk with you and just give you a little more info on what I do and how I can help you with that. So just let me know, reach out or write a comment on this and I'll reach out to you. So hope you're having a great week. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.